Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Israel.
And I'm from Graham. The Obama administration is delaying the deadline for Americans to sign up for health insurance. The rollout has been disastrous, and technical problems still plague that website created for uninsured people. Meanwhile, reports millions of Americans who were happy with their current health insurance are losing it or seeing their premiums skyrocket. A grace period for Americans to sign up for Obamacare. Monday, the White House granted a 6-week extension, pushing the deadline for uninsured Americans to sign up for coverage to March 31st. But lawmakers from both parties say that is not enough. Republicans and even some Democrats now are calling for a 1-year delay in penalties Americans will face if they remain uninsured.
There should be a suspension because there are too many problems, not only with the enrollment, but with the mandate, the taxes, the fees, and the penalties.
Meanwhile, a new report from NBC News states the president knew ahead of time millions of Americans would lose their current insurance coverage. In 2009, the president promised if you liked your health plan, you could keep it. But NBC reports even Obamacare regulations from 3 years ago admit that 40 to 67% of customers would not be able to keep their policy. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso told ABC's This Week that millions of Americans are discovering what the president promised isn't true.
The president made promises that this was going to be cheaper than your cell phone bill, easier to use than Amazon, and you could keep your doctor. People all across the country, George, are seeing that's just not true.
Estimates of how many people could lose insurance range from 7 million to 16 million.
As Americans find out premiums are higher than they were promised, I think you're going to see more and more frustration build, more and more Democrats and Republicans calling for delays, for repeals.
Lawmakers vowed to continue pressing the White House for extensions. But millions of insured Americans should expect to get letters in the mail about premiums going up or their coverage being canceled altogether. Meanwhile, the White House is pushing hard to get healthy young adults to buy coverage through Obamacare. That's how they plan to lower the premium prices.
The state of Alabama is teaming up with a Catholic TV network to sue the federal government over the contraception mandate in Obamacare. State Attorney General Luther Strange joined the Eternal World Television Network to file the suit. They contend the mandate is unconstitutional because it forces religious employers to fund birth control and abortion drugs. A federal judge dismissed a previous suit, calling it premature. Now EWTN says they're facing a July 1st deadline to comply with the law.
Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott is appealing a federal judge's ruling that struck down the state's new abortion restrictions. A federal judge ruled Monday the measures are unconstitutional, blocking them from taking effect today. The judge says the law would violate the rights of abortion doctors to do what they deem best for their patients and would unreasonably restrict access to abortion clinics. But supporters of the law say it provided safety for women by holding abortion clinics to common medical standards.
They've been operating at lower safety standards than comparable health facilities across Texas. And this law is about raising those standards at abortion facilities to the level that any person would expect getting comparable surgery in another facility.
One of the new standards would have required all Texas abortion doctors to have admitting privileges at a hospital less than 30 miles away. The Texas Attorney General says he thinks the case will eventually be decided by the U.S. Supreme Court.
At least 15 people are dead following the massive storm that plowed through Britain and Western Europe on Monday. It's being called the St. Jude storm, and it's one of the worst storms to hit the region in years. People in some areas saw wind gusts of up to 120 miles per hour. One man was reportedly killed when a flying brick hit him in the head. The wind and rain snapped hundreds of trees, flooded streets, and stopped traffic in the air and at sea. Germany saw at least 6 deaths. Britain had 5. The Netherlands and Denmark each had 1.
Today marks the one year since Superstorm Sandy hit the East Coast, killing dozens of people and causing billions of dollars in damage. Many businesses are on the path to recovery, but thousands of people are frustrated and still battling with insurance companies for money to rebuild their homes.
Fill out paperwork, you submit this, submit that, and then by the at the end they just tell you you don't qualify for whatever reasons.
We're using our savings and retirement.
For many, today will be a day of healing and remembrance. Some plan to light up parts of the shore with candles tonight, while people along the Jersey Shore will shine flashlights.
After renewed protests and hard questions from allies, the White House says it will review U.S. surveillance activities. Revelations that the NSA has tapped the phones of world leaders have created an international headache for the Obama administration. John Waggy has more on the fallout.
The progressive leaks from former NSA contractor Edward Snowden continue to create shockwaves that are playing havoc with U.S. foreign policy.
The secrets that have been revealed are doing significant damage to our bilateral relationships with Germany, with Mexico, with the other countries.
The revelation that the NSA tracked German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cell phone for years gets the most attention, but it happened with nearly 36 other leaders and millions of citizens in Europe and other parts of the world as well. Spain has summoned the U.S. ambassador after a Spanish newspaper reported that 60 million phone calls were monitored in Spain in just 1 month at the end of 2012. But many in Washington, including key Republicans, are concerned that all the scrutiny could damage efforts to protect against terrorist attack. Congressman Peter King defended the process on NBC's Meet the Press.
We've saved many lives in Germany because of the intelligence we've given them. The fact is there can be information that's being transmitted that can be useful to us and then ultimately useful to Germany.
Another congressman suggested that allies listening in on allies is a common practice and that the frenzy should simmer down.
This whole notion that we're going to go after each other on what is really legitimate protection of nation-state interests, I think is disingenuous.
The White House has been quick to put out the word that President Obama didn't know about the eavesdropping on world leaders when he said this back in August.
I don't have an interest, and the people of the NSA don't have an interest in doing anything other than making sure that where we can prevent a terrorist attack.
In his Monday briefing, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney said the administration hopes to finish its review of the surveillance programs by the end of the year.
We need to make sure that we're collecting intelligence in a way that advances our security needs and that we don't just do it because we can.
But it's difficult to determine what might make the matter go away, with so many leaders and so many media outlets in an uproar. John Waggy, CBN News.
Britain unveils a new Islamic market today. Prime Minister David Cameron says London is the biggest center for Islamic finance in the West. But he's not going to stop there. Cameron says he intends to make London, quote, one of the great capitals of Islamic finance in the world. While it's still relatively small, the Islamic investment market has grown dramatically in recent years and is expected to hit $2 trillion in 2014. Islamic finance conforms with Sharia law by forbidding charging interest, speculation, or betting on futures. Cameron also seeks to make Britain the first Western nation to issue an Islamic bond next year.
Hawaii's Senate is holding a special session today to discuss a bill that would make same-sex marriage legal in the state. Governor Abercrombie says passing the bill would put Hawaii in line with 2 Supreme Court rulings that affirmed gay marriage and granted federal benefits to legally married same-sex couples. Opponents say a religious exemption proposed in the bill doesn't do enough to protect people who don't believe in gay marriage from having to facilitate ceremonies. Hawaii already allows civil unions.
The legal battle over Bible banners at high school football games in Southeast Texas is heating up again. CBN first brought you the story of the Bible verse banners last fall. Cheerleaders at Coons High School displayed Bible verses on run-through banners for their football team. An atheist group filed a complaint saying Bible verses should not be displayed at football games. A district judge had ruled in favor of the cheerleaders, but now the Coons School District has appealed the ruling, essentially claiming the cheerleaders are part of the government. Attorneys for the students have filed a brief defending the cheerleaders' free speech rights. They state no court has ever held that a student speaking on a message of his or her own choice is a government speaker.
Coming up, the debate over drone strikes, why some say the U.S. is committing war crimes with this deadly technology.
Hi, my name is Breda. I'm just your typical 9-year-old. I love singing, dancing, reading, discovering the simple truth. My grandpa says you're never too young or old to learn the value of a dog. He taught me the true value of this paper dog. You see this little gold coin? It says $1 on it. But guess what? That was a long time ago. Today, this gold dollar is worth over 100 paper dollars. This paper dollar is now only worth 1 penny compared to America's former money, the gold dollar. My grandpa says the only money worth saving today is real money, gold or silver coins. He's pretty smart. How our paper dollars lost their value, he says. It's all explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. It's easy and fun to read. If you call the number on the screen, I will send you a copy, totally free. Next time, I will explain the simple truth about money.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be. But they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Christians in Syria fear they're being targeted by Islamic rebel forces. The rebels are increasingly shelling Christian-majority towns as well as Christian districts in the capital, Damascus. At least 32 people have been killed and dozens injured in recent weeks in the Christian district of Al-Qasa. Leaders say they're struggling to survive.
Sometimes they don't have the strength to come to the services, but even when they hear bombs and shellings, as you see, there are many people in the churches because they see the only hope in the prayer.
In the beginning, most Christians quietly supported the Assad regime or tried to stay neutral. But as rebel forces became dominated by Muslim jihadis, they were forced to side with the government. This week, Syrian forces retook the Christian town of Saddad, north of Damascus. Al-Qaeda groups captured key parts of Saddad a week ago, apparently because of its strategic location. Rebels vandalized one of the town's churches and much of Saddad's infrastructure.
A U.S. drone strike has killed 2 senior members of a terrorist organization, Al-Shabaab. A U.S. official confirms the attack took place Monday near the Kenyan border. One Al-Shabaab member says one of those killed was Ibrahim al-Abdi, the organization's top explosives expert, also known as Anta. Today's strike comes weeks after United States Navy SEALs attacked a coastal Somali town to take down a Kenyan Al-Shabaab member. The SEALs withdrew before capturing or killing their target.
New scrutiny directed at the Obama administration's use of drone strikes. This time, people are calling into question the civilian deaths caused by drones. Both Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have released reports documenting the deaths of dozens of civilians in Pakistan and Yemen. Heather Sells has more.
On-the-ground investigations show not only the aftermath of drone killings, but the surviving family members' grief, anger, and confusion. This Yemen mother says her taxi driver's son had no idea that he was transporting suspected militants. He did this because he was excited for an opportunity to earn some money. And this woman explains the injuries of this little girl who was hit by shrapnel from a missile. She's ill, she vomits and screams because of her stomach. In all, Human Rights Watch has concluded that U.S. drones killed 57 civilians in Yemen since 2009. In Pakistan, Amnesty International says it has evidence that drone strikes killed more than 30 innocent people since 2012.
The U.S. may have committed war crimes or extrajudicial executions. We're talking about the killing of a grandmother in front of her grandchildren in a field.
A UN report has also called on the administration to reveal the number of civilians killed by American drones. So far, the administration has not responded to any of the reports.
Part of the problem is defining what is a civilian. Al-Qaeda terrorists put themselves into the middle of villages. They hire cooks, they hire drivers, they hire people to do their wash. They have relatives around them. Are all these people civilians, or are they not?
In May, the president said drone strikes are not authorized unless there's near certainty that civilians will not be harmed. And he defended the attacks.
Conventional air power, or missiles, are far less precise than drones and are likely to cause more civilian casualties and more local outrage.
Amnesty and Human Rights Watch are calling on the Obama administration to investigate the deaths listed in their reports.
What we're calling for is increased transparency and very specific investigations into the unlawful killings that we've identified.
Cliff May of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracy says it's nearly impossible to protect civilians when the terrorists hide behind innocent women and children.
I suspect everything that can be done is being done, and I suspect further, and I'm pretty sure of this, that civilians are being used as human shields by al-Qaeda. Now, that is against the most basic laws of war.
The human rights groups say the administration has failed to provide any transparency about its drone attacks and must come clean.
The U.S. government should be careful about the signal that it's sending to the rest of the world. Is killing people with drone technology, with impunity, with secrecy, with a failure at any accountability, the message that the Obama administration wants to send to all other governments that will acquire this technology?
May says the strikes do send an important signal to the terrorists seeking to destroy the U.S. and its allies.
We know that the various terrorists who are plotting against us, there must be pressure on them at all times. They need to be worrying that a missile is going to come and sit on their breakfast table, that we're going to get them the next time they use a satellite phone or drive in their car. If we don't go after them, if they are able to plot and conspire in peace and in security, then we should expect more 9/11s.
Heather Sells, CBN News.
Up next, this man was given 1 year to live because of a brain tumor. See how an amazing new laser treatment saved his life. It's coming up after this.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans. with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right. You could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Every year, about 67,000 people hear the devastating words, "You have a brain tumor." Doctors can safely remove many of them, while others are far more difficult to treat.
That's right, but now there's new hope from the Cleveland Clinic for people with most serious brain tumors. Lori Johnson reports on the latest developments in laser brain surgery.
Kenny Kokenauer always enjoyed excellent health, so he was shocked when this happened.
I was taking a shower and I fell and my whole right side just kind of collapsed. So I went out, I opened the door, and because I knew something was wrong, and I opened the door and went out and fell in the hallway, and my whole right side for probably 3 or 4 minutes, I couldn't move anything on my right side. And so I knew then that I was in trouble.
Kenny had a brain tumor.
When it comes to getting rid of brain tumors, a lot depends on where it's located.
Tumors near the surface can often be completely removed, but ones further inside the brain are hard to reach and can sometimes be only partially removed or not at all. That's the kind Kenny had. He was given 1 year to live.
But, you know, I knew I had to trust God. And, you know, doctors are wonderful, but there's only one ultimate healer, and that's God. And so that's who I turned to and put all of my faith in that.
Then Kenny got some great news from the world-famous Cleveland Clinic. He qualified for a promising surgery that, instead of cutting out the tumor, the surgeon leaves it right where it is, but inserts a tiny laser into it and burns it.
We so far have used it in patients where they have tumors which are located deep in the brain, which are difficult to get to or remove in totality due to the location.
It's called NeuroBlate. The patient is in an MRI machine. With great precision, a thin laser probe is inserted through a tiny hole in the skull. Using a computer screen, the surgeon steers the probe to the tumor. The tip of the probe releases laser energy sideways, heating and destroying brain tumor tissue in one direction, while cooling and protecting normal tissue near the tumor. Kenny was only the second patient to have this treatment done.
I had been praying without ceasing, as the Bible says. I was praying without ceasing. And then I felt a relief. I felt that God spoke to me and said, it's going to be okay. And that's kind of where it's taken from there. I've been, you know, the surgery went great. And, you know, I haven't had any problems since.
That was nearly 2 years ago.
If you've been diagnosed with a brain tumor and are wondering whether NeuroBlate might be your solution, you can be evaluated right from the comfort of your own home.
Just call the Cleveland Clinic's NeuroBlate hotline.
We generally ask them to mail in a copy of their recent MRI, which shows how large the tumor is or where is it located. And then my neurosurgery colleagues evaluate the films. And if we think that we can perform the procedure, we generally ask the patients to come to Cleveland Clinic.
Kenny's imbalance and loss of movement in part of the body are two of the hallmark symptoms of a brain tumor. Others include vision problems, hearing loss, speech difficulty, a new seizure, or a headache that won't go away.
Any of these symptoms can basically alert someone to at least go and have an initial consultation with their primary care doctor.
Although doctors know the symptoms of brain tumors, they don't know why people get them. Studies indicate they may come from cell phone use, living near power lines and transformers, exposure to petroleum products like plastic, or ingesting chemicals added to our food and drinks. However, none of that research is conclusive. Kenny has no idea why he got his brain tumor, but believe it or not, he's glad he did, and is grateful God led him to the NeuroBlate treatment.
I was always busy at work. I'd give it 60, 70 hours. And this whole experience completely changed my life to where, I try not to work those hours, spend time more at home with the family, more time with our church. So it's basically got my priorities straight.
Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film.
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
That parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing. If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film.
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
That parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing.
Finally today, costumes and candy are pretty common this time of year.
Indeed they are. Father in Iowa recently used that to his advantage. Recently home from Afghanistan, Sergeant Class Dave Wirtz wanted to surprise his daughter. So he dressed up as Spider-Man and paid her elementary school a visit. Jessie was chosen as the class hero, so she got to take a photo with the superhero.
I'll probably cry a little bit. All right, Jessie, turn around time. Thank you.
Daddy.
Hey, buddy. Like that?
I'm just glad that he's home because I really missed him.
There's nothing will top it. This will be probably, I'll remember this the rest of my life, and my daughter will too.
Indeed, the whole family will. For the Wirtz family, the surprise makes the season one to remember. Indeed, it does. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Stories like that just never get old.
Break out the tissues because I'm just tearing up here. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Welcome home.
Definitely. Well, that's going to do it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And we want you to take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us again right here next time. Make it a terrific Tuesday, everybody.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary, or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.